Think the drama ended when the cameras stopped rolling. Think again. After 12 seasons of nerdy laughs at The Big Bang Theory, cast faced real-life plot twists wilder than any sitcom script. From surprise lawsuits to shocking roles and jaw-dropping backstage secrets, yes, even gum walls and steamy dressing rooms. The real bang came after the show ended. Buckle up, this is where it gets juicy. Number 1, Simon Helberg. Before The Big Bang Theory. Simon Helberg was just another struggling actor in Hollywood. Then came Howard Wolowitz, a NASA-bound mama's boy with tight pants, louder shirts, and even louder pickup lines. For 12 seasons, he was the punchline king. But when the laughter faded in 2019, Helberg faced his next mission, proving he wasn't just that creepy astronaut guy. Spoiler alert, mission accomplished. He ditched the bowl cut and stepped into high art, literally. In Annette 2021, he played a brooding pianist opposite Adam Driver in a surreal musical that made Howard look like amateur hour. The man even became a French citizen to help fund the film. Did he need to? Nope. Did he do it anyway? Absolutely. Howard Wolowitz would never. Critics loved it. Suddenly, Helberg was no longer the funny one in the tight jeans. He was a serious actor with a passport and range. He later dropped into Poker Face for a one-episode FBI cameo that reminded everyone, yep, he's still hilarious. Drama comedy accents, existential despair. He can do it all, and probably while wearing suspenders if you ask nicely. But not everything was smooth sailing. During TBBT, he quietly battled OCD and anxiety, personal struggles that made his behind-the-scenes journey far more dramatic than anything in the script. Starting a family was delayed. Fame was overwhelming. But he came through it with honesty, humor, and yes, a very patient wife. And here's the twist. You didn't see coming. Helberg was never supposed to be Howard. The role was originally cast for Kevin Sussman, who later became Stewart. A scheduling conflict changed everything. The nerd gods intervened, and Simon got the gig that changed his life. Number 2, Johnny Galecki. Johnny Galecki spent 12 seasons as Leonard Hofstadter, the awkward, lovable physicist who somehow landed the hottest girl in Pasadena. But when The Big Bang Theory wrapped in 2019, Johnny did what few expected. He ghosted Hollywood. Yep, while his co-stars chased Emmy nods and edgy roles, Johnny traded red carpets for quiet mornings in Nashville. No, really, he packed up, left LA, and said peace out to the spotlight. And honestly, kind of iconic. He did dip his toes back into TV, briefly reprising his old role as David Healy on The Conners. But instead of chasing another mega hit, Johnny went full behind the scenes, co-creating A-OK, a sitcom about a struggling tech startup in the 90s. Think Silicon Valley meets flannel and dial-up tones. But don't think he left drama behind. His real life had enough plot twists to rival any season finale. In 2019, he welcomed a son with then-partner Elena Meyer. By 2020, they'd split. Fast forward a few years, and he's remarried, a dad of 2, and very much not living the Hollywood cliché. Oh, and during TBBT, he secretly battled Bell's palsy, facial paralysis mid-season, and powered through without missing a beat. The guy literally couldn't move half his face and still delivered sitcom gold. Respect. Also, he once stuck gum on a hidden wall of the set for years, gross, and casually dropped the bombshell that he's the only cast member who had sex in his dressing room. Sheldon might have had a roommate agreement. Johnny had real chemistry. These days, he keeps it low-key, family indie projects, and the occasional behind-the-scenes hustle. He may have played a guy constantly overshadowed by Sheldon, but in real life, Johnny Galecki got the last laugh. Number 3, Kaley Cuoco. For 12 seasons, Kaley Cuoco was America's ultimate girl next door. But when The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, the actress who brought Penny to life had a choice: ride off into sitcom history or prove she was more than a sarcastic blonde with great comedic timing and killer wine-drinking skills. Spoiler: she chose chaos in the best way. Instead of waiting for casting calls, Kaley built her own empire. She launched Yes Queen Productions. Okay, it's actually called Norman Productions, but still iconic, and headlined The Flight Attendant, where she traded punchlines for panic attacks and wine glasses for blood-stained hotel sheets. Critics expected Penny 2.0. They got a whirlwind alcoholic entangled in a murder mystery and Emmy buzz. Boom. Then she voiced Harley Quinn. Yes, the bat-wielding, potty-mouthed anti-heroine in an animated series that was violent, hilarious, and somehow still charming. She nailed it. If Penny and Harley ever met, they'd either be best friends or destroy each other. Kaley didn't slow down. She rom-commed with Pete Davidson in Meet Cute, got dark and twisty in Based on a True Story, and now she's prepping to play Doris freakin' Day in a biopic that could completely rewrite her Hollywood resume. From sitcom sweetheart to biopic bombshell, we stan. But don't let the glitz fool you. Behind the scenes, she fought hard. She took pay cuts to lift up her co-stars, clashed with TBBT's ending that surprise Penny pregnancy, not her jam, and was blindsided by Jim Parsons' exit. Oof. Still, Kaley Cuoco doesn't play it safe. She plays to win. And post-Big Bang, she's been doing just that, one Harley laugh and Emmy nom at a time. Number 4. Sheldon Jim Parsons. He was the quirky genius who made Bazinga a national catchphrase, but off-screen Jim Parsons pulled off the boldest move of all. He walked away. At the peak of his Big Bang Theory fame, $1 million per episode, 4 Emmys, a Golden Globe, and a $50 million deal dangling in front of him. Parsons shocked everyone by saying, "No thanks," Hollywood gasped. The show ended. Penny cried. Okay, probably not cried, but she didn't see it coming. None of us did. But Jim. He was ready. The man who spent 12 years in geeky teas and socially awkward stares was ready to stretch. And stretch he did, right onto Broadway, into Netflix dramas, and straight into the hearts of audiences who suddenly saw. This guy is no one-trick Sheldon. He stunned as a ruthless agent in Hollywood. Netflix 2020 made viewers ugly cry in spoiler alert, and literally became the narrator of a generation as producer and voice behind young Sheldon. He wasn't done telling the story, he just didn't want to star in it anymore. In 2024, he took command of the stage in Our Town, then teamed up with Jessica Lange in Mother Play, proving his dramatic chops go way beyond awkward roommate banter. And as if acting weren't enough, he's building an empire behind the scenes with That's Wonderful Productions. Yes, that's the actual name, and yes, we agree, Jim. Since 2015, he and husband Todd Spiewak have been championing stories that matter, including Special, a trailblazing show about a gay man with cerebral palsy. Will he ever return as Sheldon? Probably not, unless there's a multiverse revival or CBS backs a truck full of money into his driveway. But Jim's doing just fine. He left the world's biggest sitcom, and somehow his story only got bigger. Number 5. Sara Gilbert. Before she dropped sarcastic bombs as Leslie Winkle on The Big Bang Theory, Sara Gilbert was already TV royalty. She played the iconic Darlene Connor on Roseanne, turning teen angst into Emmy-nominated gold. But Leslie, she was the anti-Penny, no-nonsense, sharp-tongued and fully capable of verbally destroying Leonard with a single raised eyebrow. Iconic. Though her run on TBBT was short-lived, first main cast, then quietly downgraded to guest star, Leslie left a mark. She was the show's original badass physicist, and fans still mourn her exit like it's a canceled season. But don't cry for Sara. She wasn't about to hang around just to play second fiddle in a lab coat. Behind the scenes, she was pulling strings as executive producer of Roseanne's revival. And when Roseanne Barr torpedoed the show with a racist tweet in 2018, Sara made the power move of the decade. She publicly condemned the tweet, helped get the show pulled, and then resurrected it as the Conners without Barr. Cutthroat maybe, necessary absolutely. She didn't stop there. Back in 2010, Sara created the talk CBS's daytime answer to The View and co-hosted it for nearly a decade. It won multiple daytime Emmys and gave her a platform to discuss motherhood identity and basically all the things Sheldon would short-circuit over. She's also dabbled in everything from ER to Atypical, proving she's not afraid to jump genres or networks. And yes, she's an Ivy League nerd too. Graduated magna cum laude from Yale in art. Of course she did. Off-screen, she keeps it cool, photography exhibitions, environmental activism, and her production company, Sara plus Tom, working on fresh content. Zero scandals, zero drama, unless you count being publicly labeled a traitor by Roseanne Barr. Number 6, Laura Spencer. Laura Spencer may not have been part of the original Nerd Squad, but when she showed up as Emily Sweeney Raj's horror-loving, tattoo-rocking dermatologist, she made sure nobody forgot her. Originally cast for just one episode, she stabbed her way into fans' hearts, like a slasher movie villain with a PhD. Her chemistry with Raj was offbeat, quirky, and sometimes borderline creepy in the best way possible. And while Emily didn't make it to the series finale, Laura Spencer proved she was more than just another pretty sitcom love interest with a dark side. While juggling The Big Bang Theory, she was also playing Jessica Warren, the free-spirited intern on Bones. That's right, 2 hit shows, 2 totally different worlds, and somehow she made it look easy. Who else can dissect a cadaver and a relationship in the same week? But Laura's biggest early claim to fame, The Lizzie Bennet Diaries, a YouTube web series that reimagined Pride and Prejudice for the digital age. The show won an Emmy for interactive storytelling and launched her into a new era where social media met classic literature. Jane Austen would have tweeted about her. After TBBT, she kept things interesting. In 2021, she starred in 13 Minutes, a disaster flick about a small town facing a massive tornado, with added themes like immigration and reproductive rights. Bet you didn't see that twist coming. More recently, she's taken on serious material in Grey's Anatomy and appeared in the hit native-centered series Reservation Dogs. She chooses roles with cultural weight and still knows how to steal a scene with just a smirk. In real life, Laura is refreshingly drama-free. She married Michael Jack Greenwald in 2019, avoids scandal like Raj avoids speaking without alcohol, and focuses on meaningful projects over flashy headlines. Number 7, Mary Cooper, the real MVP from Texas. Sheldon Cooper's mother, yes, that devout, sassy dynamo from East Texas, Mary Cooper, is the kind of woman who replaces therapy with shotgun logic and sweet tea. As portrayed by Laurie Metcalf in The Big Bang Theory and by her real-life daughter Zoe Perry in Young Sheldon, Mary brought Southern fire, Christian conviction, and emotional honesty to a cast full of science nerds. Sure, she showed up sporadically, seasons 7 through 12, but every Mary episode was basically a Rome-worthy intervention for Sheldon. Her voice equal parts, love and roast, dishing out lines like, "You can't change your genes by whining." Her Texas drawl was legendary, her sarcasm surgical. But here's the twist: behind her tough love exterior lies a woman fiercely committed to her family's well-being. Mary wasn't just a supporting role, she was the emotional anchor. When Sheldon spiraled, she came sometimes in sandals and rhinestones to remind him who he really is. Real Texas therapy, no copay. She also became the origin point for Young Sheldon, where Zoe Perry reprises the role in a spotlight of its own. It's a legacy. Daughter plays mother of a genius in 2 shows. Talk about meta. In short, Mary Cooper didn't have the screen time, but she delivered the emotional knockout punch. Southern manners. Yes. Southern sass. Oh hell yes. And that's why every time Sheldon needed a moral compass, she was the first and funniest choice. Number 8. Kunal Nayyar. For years, Kunal Nayyar was Raj Kuthrapalli, the astrophysicist who couldn't talk to women without alcohol and somehow made sweater vests sexy. But when The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, the shy guy with a telescope pulled off a career glow-up nobody saw coming. In 2020, Nayyar shocked fans by swapping awkward charm for cold-blooded killer in Criminal UK. That's right, Raj went full Hannibal Lecter, and he nailed it. So much so, the British Academy nominated him. From nerdy stargazer to serial killer in 3 easy steps. That's range, baby. He wasn't done. In 2022, he starred alongside Uma Thurman in Suspicion, diving deeper into drama and looking ridiculously good doing it. Then in 2024, he reminded us he could still make us laugh with How to Date Billy Walsh and reunited with Melissa Rauch on Night Court for a nostalgic TV wink. But the real mic drop, Kunal's set to play Scrooge. Yes, that Scrooge in a Bollywood-style Christmas musical. Picture ghosts, dance numbers, and redemption arcs with choreographed flair. It's bold, it's weird, it's kind of perfect. Nayyar also crushed it in voice acting. You've probably heard him as Guy Diamond in Trolls or Gupta the Woolly Mammoth in Ice Age. Kid-friendly hits, check. Outside of acting, he got real, like memoir-level real with Yes, My Accent is Real, where he spilled the chai on immigration fame and identity. He's also written plays performed with Jesse Eisenberg and tackled cultural issues head-on. But even Raj isn't immune to controversy. A cringe joke about Bollywood icons in TBBT sparked backlash, and even a lawsuit in 2023. Yikes. And apparently, his parking habits on set were the stuff of legend and mild irritation. Number 9. Melissa Rauch. Before she was the tiny scientist with the terrifying voice, Melissa Rauch was grinding in comedy clubs, telling jokes to drunk strangers and praying for a break. Then The Big Bang Theory happened, and boom. Bernadette was born the sweet yet deadly microbiologist with a voice that could shatter glass and scare grown men, ask Howard. But when the show wrapped in 2019, Melissa didn't sit back and wait for another sitcom. Nope. She put on her producer hat, grabbed a pen, and kicked the Hollywood door open, starting with The Bronze, a dark, foul-mouthed dramedy about a washed-up Olympic gymnast. Oh, and did we mention she co-wrote, co-produced, and starred in it? The studios didn't even want her in the lead. She fought for it and crushed it. Voice acting, she nailed that too. In 2017, she got to live her dream voicing Harley Quinn in Batman and Harley Quinn. Her version Jersey sass meets chaotic mischief straight from her own childhood influences. Post-TBBT, Melissa focused on what mattered: family. She and husband Winston Bagel welcomed 2 kids, started their own production company, January Productions, and still found time to revive a beloved 80s sitcom. That's right, Melissa came back strong in Night Court, as Judge Abby Stone, the optimistic daughter of the original show's lead. Oh, and she didn't just star, she executive produced the whole thing. Queen behavior. Night Court became a surprise hit, balancing nostalgia with fresh storytelling, and Abby's battle with alcoholism added real depth beneath the courtroom laughs. Off-camera, Melissa keeps it grounded. Charity work. Check, she co-founded Oscar's Kids, helping children with cancer. Hollywood drama, nah. But don't mistake her sweetness for softness. This is a woman who fought for every role, every line, every moment. Number 10. Mayim Bialik. Before she was Amy Farrah Fowler, Mayim Bialik was already a 90s teen star with Blossom and a PhD in neuroscience. Yes, you read that right. While the rest of us were learning long division, she was literally studying brain function at UCLA. Then The Big Bang Theory brought her back to the screen and back to superstardom. As Sheldon's love interest, she turned awkward into adorable and helped redefine what smart girls on TV could look like. 4 Emmy nominations and 2 Critics' Choice Awards. Later, she wasn't just part of the gang, she was a fan favorite. But post-TBBT, Bialik's path got even weirder in the best way. First, she starred in Call Me Kat, playing a quirky cat cafe owner in a remake of Britain's Miranda. The show had charm cats and awkward karaoke, but not enough ratings. It got axed after 3 seasons. Ouch. No worries, Mayim pivoted hard. She directed her first film, As They Made Us, a raw, emotional family drama, inspired by her own life. And then she became something completely unexpected, a host of Jeopardy! Yes, the nerdiest quiz show on earth. For 2 years, she shared hosting duties with Ken Jennings, and while some praised her intellect, others critiqued her pacing tone. And let's be real, maybe her outfits too. Outside the spotlight, Mayim wrote books for teens, Girling Up, Boying Up, championed veganism, and launched a mental health podcast, Mayim Bialik's Breakdown, where she got candid about OCD, disordered eating, and science with surprising guests. But it hasn't all been applause. Her comments on vaccines, modesty, and feminism stirred controversy. A 2017 op-ed about Weinstein backlash landed her in hot water, and her past reluctance on vaccines brought criticism during the pandemic. Number 11. Kevin Sussman. Kevin Sussman was never meant to be famous. In fact, before The Big Bang Theory, he worked in an actual comic book store. Then Hollywood cast him to play a comic book store owner. That's not typecasting. That's destiny. As Stuart Bloom, he was the awkward outsider of the gang and socially weird, chronically broke, and hilariously gloomy. He turned what was supposed to be a background character into a fan favorite, stealing scenes with nothing but deadpan desperation and one very beige wardrobe. But after TBBT ended in 2019, Kevin proved he wasn't just sad Stuart with a cash register. He tackled drama with surprising chops, landing roles in Better Call Saul and The Dropout, where he played real-life biotech execs and shady side characters. No capes, no jokes, just serious acting and some very intense stares. Still, comedy's in his blood. He reunited with Mayim Bialik in Call Me Kat, then showed up in Lessons in Chemistry as Walter Pine, flexing that rare ability to switch between dry wit and sincere charm like it's no big deal. But here's the real plot twist. Kevin was originally cast to play Howard, yes, that Howard. But a contract with Ugly Betty forced him to drop out, and Simon Helberg swooped in. Years later, Kevin rejoined TBBT as Stuart and ended up lasting just as long. Behind the scenes, he's more than just an actor. Kevin co-created Dark Minions, an animated sci-fi comedy Amazon picked up, but never aired. Rude, and kept hustling with unproduced scripts and pitch meetings that prove his real power is storytelling. In 2023, he became one of many voices highlighting the streaming-era paycheck crisis post-SAG strike. Turns out, being in a mega hit doesn't always mean mega money, especially when reruns go digital. Number 12. Barry Kripke, the R-lusional rival with a lisp. You thought Howard's belts were loud. Wait till you hear Barry Kripke talk. Introduced in Season 2, Barry is that Caltech plasma physicist who refuses to pronounce R or L, turning Leonard into Weeward and Sheldon into Shiwan. His rhoticism isn't just a speech quirk, it's a comedic weapon. Kripke started as a minor thorn in Sheldon's side, but quickly became a recurring legend through seasons 2-12. Whether mocking Sheldon's latest theory or messing with group dynamics, Barry was the underdog villain fans grew to love like a scientific joker with a lab coat. Actor John Ross Bowie brought his own comedic genius to the role. Off-screen, Bowie is a seasoned sketch comedian and writer, yet on TBBT he practically weaponized his lisp to deliver some of the show's most quotable insults. Barry nearly gets his HBO Max sci-fi spin-off invite. Stewart fails to save the universe. The upcoming Big Bang spin-off is confirmed to include Barry via Bowie teaming up with Stewart and others to fix a multiverse meltdown he might have partially caused with a malfunctioning Sheldon Leonard device. Talk about payback time. Number 13, Dr. Beverly Hofstadter, the cold neuroscientist, mom everyone loves to hate. Leonard's mother isn't your typical TV mom. She's a full-on neuroscientist with a PhD and MD, and she treats her son like a lab rat rather than a kid. Emotional warmth, hard pass. She analyzes everything: childhood traumas, relationship decisions, your favorite breakfast cereal. Nothing escapes Dr. Beverly Hofstadter's microscope. Imagine a childhood where your proudest moment is a footnote in your mom's psychiatric thesis. Beverly's trademark monotone delivery and razor-sharp observations made her the perfect rival for Sheldon's social incompetence. Her best lines, delivered so dry you wondered if Siri developed a sense of superiority. But Beverly isn't just comedic ice queen, she's the emotional heavyweight in the series. Their final confrontation in season 12's emotional penultimate episode hit like a freight train. Leonard realizes his mother was more invested in her book research than his feelings. The raw emotional sting was real, leading to one of the most powerful mother-son scenes in sitcom history. Despite being recurring, Beverly's influence loomed large. Invited to family dinners, delivered unsolicited therapy sessions, and fed Leonard more life advice than Penny ever thought necessary. She wasn't just a guest star, she was the high IQ villain who secretly shaped the gang. Number 14. Brian Thomas Smith. Zack Johnson. Penny's dumb but lovable ex who almost broke her life literally. Zack is that tall, handsome, and classically strong ex-boyfriend of Penny, who also happens to be delightfully, unapologetically dumb. Smart, not a chance. Curiosity about theoretical physics, surprisingly yes, but only insofar as knowing it exists. He entered with a drunken Las Vegas wedding that turned out to be legally binding Q, the annulment drama. Zack's simple charm and cluelessness made Leonard's nerdy brilliance look even more unbearable, but Penny, she couldn't resist. Despite being that guy who says things like cool beans at the dinner table, Zack was sweet sometimes, annoyingly so. Occasionally he resurfaced, like offering Penny a job in season 10 that ignited real marital tension. Shockingly, Penny considered it before realizing even grown-ups have boundaries when confronting an ex's shadow in their marriage. Off-screen, Brian Thomas Smith brought Zack to life. An actor known for comedy and hundreds of commercials, he made Zack unforgettable even without a thesis or whiteboard. He was dumb, kind-hearted, and occasionally handsome like a human-friendly dog. In essence, Zack Johnson was proof that you don't need big brains to make a big impact, especially when you repeatedly show up at Thanksgiving dinner uninvited. Dinner uninvited. Dinner uninvited. Dinner uninvited. Number 12. Barry Kripke, the R-lusional rival with a lisp. You thought Howard's belts were loud. Wait till you hear Barry Kripke talk. Introduced in season 2, Barry is that Caltech plasma physicist who refuses to pronounce R or L, turning Leonard into Weeward and Sheldon into Shiwan. His rhoticism isn't just a speech quirk, it's a comedic weapon. Kripke started as a minor thorn in Sheldon's side, but quickly became a recurring legend through seasons 2-12. Whether mocking Sheldon's latest theory or messing with group dynamics, Barry was the underdog villain fans grew to love like a scientific joker with a lab coat. Actor John Ross Bowie brought his own comedic genius to the role. Off-screen, Bowie is a seasoned sketch comedian and writer, yet on TBBT he practically weaponized his lisp to deliver some of the show's most quotable insults. Barry nearly gets his HBO Max sci-fi spin-off invite. Stewart fails to save the universe. The upcoming Big Bang spin-off is confirmed to include Barry via Bowie teaming up with Stewart and others to fix a multiverse meltdown he might have partially caused with a malfunctioning Sheldon Leonard device. Talk about payback time.